Our City Council regular meeting Tuesday, April 4th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
Goodchild?
Yes.
Donlin?
Here.
Wick?
Yes.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Bruns?
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting today. Welcome everyone watching on TV, and hope you enjoy the program today. We open with two hearings. Our first hearing is for the fiscal year 2023-24 budget. At its March 21, 2023 meeting, the council accepted the proposed fiscal year 2023-24 budget with a mill levy of $11.90 and established this date and time to hear public comment regarding said budget. The required notice has been published. I will open the meeting and ask for any written or oral objections or comments to the budget. Seeing none approaching the podium, I'm going to close the hearing. The administration recommends that the council approve.
Motion adopting resolution number 2320, adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024.
Second. We have a motion and a second to adopt the budget. Can we have a roll call, please?
Bruns?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yep.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Motion carried. Our second hearing. Is for the Building and Construction Regulations Ordinance. At the March 21st, 2023 meeting, council set this as the date and time for a public hearing regarding the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Building and Construction Regulations, being amended to clarify in Section 155.05 when building permits are required and how fees are set. Nowhere in our current code does it state when a building permit is required. Historically, a permit for a building has been required only when square footage is added. This change would specify when a permit is required under the following conditions. 1, new construction. 2, adding square footage. And 3, modification of any building changing its categorical use. I'm going to open the hearing and ask if there's any comment, written or oral, on this amendment. Seeing none approach, I will close the hearing. The administration recommends council approve the first reading.
So can you get a little bit more definition on number 3, just as to our thinking?
Just like I stated last time, if somebody has a single family home, okay, and they convert it to 3 apartments, that's a categorical change in use. It goes from single family to multifamily. So that's a change. Somebody went from, you had some examples, Luke, of some current projects. What would be other ones?
There was a church once upon a time that became
a church that went to a single family.
Joe Gallus's place out there, the old insurance building.
That
Huge categorical change.
Multifamily. Different types of businesses have different codes to follow. So for some reason, if a commercial building changed in its use from a lesser use, like a shoe store to a restaurant, there's different requirements for restaurants than there's a shoe store. So it would allow us to require plans to see how you're going to modify it and how you're going to meet the building code. So that's what 3 means.
I'm curious, did the church convert it to a domicile get a permit back in the day, or did that just happen?
Didn't need to.
This just didn't exist.
Yeah,
All right.
wording, it wasn't added, because like it says here, we only required a building permit if you added square footage. He didn't add square footage, he just remodeled the interior.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2321 to amend chapter 155, building and construction regulations of Lamar's Code of Ordinances.
It's ordinance number what?
978.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Second, whatever the correct thing is.
My bad. 978.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the first reading of ordinance number 978 to amend chapter 155, building and construction regulations of the Lamar's Code of Ordinances. May I have a,
Who seconded?
Mike, I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Goodchild,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Conlon,
Yes.
Sturgeon.
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, we'll move on to general discussion. At this time, we open the floor, a 10-minute period to entertain any discussion or any concerns or anything of the community. We ask you to approach the podium, identify your name and address, and any comments that you might have. Seeing no one approach the bench, then I will move on to Thumbs Up Award. Mike?
I tried to think of a thumbs up associated with the most recent result of our real estate assessments, and I changed my mind.
Thank you. Brian?
Pass.
Clark?
Okay, I'll give you one. Real estate assessments, as long as you brought that up. In real estate, for the last 15 years, every time these come out, I get asked to come over and evaluate a half a dozen homes.
Oh.
I'm not exaggerating, I've probably been asked 50, 60 times to do that. All but 3, I've said, I'll appeal your case, because in all but 3, including my wife last night, I had to look at her and say, yes, we can get this for our house. If we were to market it tomorrow, we will get this. So they suck, but believe it or not, they are a lot more on target than what a lot of people want to give them credit.
And there is a procedure for redress.
And there is a procedure if you're angry or upset or feel that they didn't do a good job, you may appeal it. And I would encourage you to do so. Get a professional to help you and appeal it if that professional takes it on. Like I say, in 60 complaints I've received, I've taken on 3 and I've won every one of them. Because you have to be able to argue a decent percentage below what they're saying. And there are cases where it's definitely true, but just a little words. You know,
Interesting.
New assessments stink, but
They are what they are.
they are what they are, and they're probably fairly legitimate as to what your actual value is, and that can just suck. You suck, that's all there is to it. Thumbs up to that one.
Thank you. Moving on to a more positive thumbs up, I guess. Thumbs up, Clark generally covers these people, but I'm gonna give thumbs up to all our city departments, all our directors, all the people that are helping Lamar's continue to advance forward. I am just amazed that we keep moving at the pace that we are moving, and the people that are directing our different departments are doing an excellent job. Our golf course opened this week, life is good, so all positive there. And then the other one is to All Saints Parish and their Palm Sunday Smorgasbord. 40-some, how many years have they done it? I don't know, but always a thumbs up to that, and it was great, so. Mark?
Thumbs up to Downtown Tattoo for the grand opening of their new location here in Lamar's. It's a nice facility, and hopefully I'll be seeing them soon.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to consent items. All items listed under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today we have 6. Approval of the March 21, 2023 regular meeting meeting minutes, excuse me. Listed bills for period ending 3/31/23, Consumer Confidence Report, the CCR. Lamar's Water Department, request to close street, Crazy Days, request to close street for Rejoice Church, and renewal of the liquor license for Bachers. Are there any comments or questions on any of those 6 before we move on?
I think we should probably discuss 4 and 5.
Yep.
For sure.
And I'd like 3, Rich is here, we might as well just touch bases on the report, if you would, Rich.
It looks good. We're not in any violations. But since I'm up here, I guess if you watched Channel 4 News last night, they talked about the lithium being an issue. DNR doesn't require any testing on that, and lithium is found in some very unique, or I should say, potato chips, 7-Up, some bottled water. We don't have any in our water in our wells, but it was, I don't know, I think it was misrepresented, like it could be the water in bottled water, yes, our water, no. But our CCR looks good. Our numbers are better than they were last year. So unless you guys have any other questions on it.
Good job.
Well, no, you guys do a good job.
Thanks.
Number 4, the Crazy Days street closure, and number 5, the Rejoice Church street closure.
Yeah. So it's all going to be a matter of timing in both of these, because of a couple different projects that are going to affect traffic flow throughout the summer. Dave Schultz was here last meeting and mentioned the railroad project. That will cause a closure and reroute traffic to First Street North. Plus a water main relining project that we're doing from Central Avenue to 4th Avenue West. Traffic will still be affected in that. Not so much on Highway 3, but the roads that approach Highway 3.
Headed south.
Yeah, because the water main's on the south side of Highway 3. So they'll have to close the intersections.
That's what.
Yeah, I'll explain a little bit.
Yeah.
Every intersection we're going to have to dig up because they can only line 500 feet at most of the time. So it blocks 400 feet, so we're going to dig, open up every intersection, and when we do the project. So I'm hoping that we can just have two single lanes and no turning lane right on the intersections, so it doesn't, intrude on the whole block. But that's kind of the plan.
So you're not taking all 3 out at one time?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And just being done with it?
Take them out and explain, I guess.
Are you gonna tear up all 3 intersections at one time?
Yep.
And just shut any southbound off of that section of road from?
We're gonna do 4 blocks, so
Yeah,
Central, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And we will have, they won't be able to come up from the south to Highway 3.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yep. I was hoping to leave like 2nd open and do 2 blocks at once, but I found out that that's not the case, so.
Okay.
And we'll try possible where we can work to where we can have 1 lane opened up. But we also have to do temporary services at places, and that's gonna require tapping the main and some different things there too, so. But we're hoping, the project, when he gets here to do it, week and a half, and we'll be in and out there.
Yeah, so I don't know if Mike wants to speak, but I know Dave's not here today, but he has some concern with having all of those closed at one time, especially if it coincides with this Crazy Days request of the 15th. Now, Rich had mentioned that he would anticipate, it's all dependent on the contractor, to start the day after the 4th, so July 5th. And then with what he's saying, there's a good possibility it could be done by the 15th, so the concerns with the intersections being closed would no longer be.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th are his first part of that too. Is first will be
First is
closed
part of
also?
it too.
Will be closed also, okay.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the, I mean, that's the concern with the crazy days, is that there is a lack of access onto Highway 3 from the south.
Right, going north.
So if they have something happen,
At the post office.
a call comes in,
Right.
you know, their options are
Go around.
Fifth Avenue, or
Central.
coming up Lincoln here, and, well, they can't use Central on the 15th because of crazy days.
Drive through it.
So that was the concern brought up.
I got it, I got it.
There's still a lot of uncertainties in that,
A lot of crazy.
and there's a chance it would be done before the 15th.
But they are aware of that situation.
I talked to her yesterday.
Okay.
They would prefer it not be. They would prefer it be closed.
Yeah, who's her?
You talk to her.
Michelle.
Penny,
Carrie.
Carrie, Penny.
Oh, she's heading crazy days.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because there was some discussion with Dave on whether or not they could adjust what streets they closed if we keep the south first block of Central open. But there's still businesses there, her business is there, so she would prefer to have that block closed. I think you should still approve it, and then, you know, we'll deal with if it's not open by the 15th.
Right, if we approve it and it doesn't work, just shut it down, right? You don't
It
close
doesn't
down
work.
the street, right, exactly.
And then,
Joyce is the same way, I
yeah, and then to this, the Olson, the Rejoice request,
mean.
Pastor Menton is aware, like it says here, that there could be, and as of this morning, when I talked to Matt Vanderpool, who has the railroad crossing project, if you remember what Dakin said, there was an August 1st late start date for that project, which means they have to start by August 1st. Talking to Matt this morning, he intends to hold close to that August 1st date, and his construction would happen during the month of August. So with that being said, the detour will be in effect during the Rejoice request, but Pastor Menton's aware of that. So I guess the suggestion would be to alter what he's asking to be closed and just close the entire First Avenue Northeast and not First Street.
And he's aware that you want to make that change, you guys?
He'll work with it. He's been cooperative with Kevin.
Okay. Whatever the timetable dictates, he will make it work for the council.
Okay.
So that's what I have on those.
If we only close one and not two, is it a safety issue for their? I'm just asking.
He didn't seem to think so.
Okay.
He didn't seem to think that it was gonna interfere anyway. It'll be, we will make sure that it's barricaded well. That way, the foot traffic is forced to walk on the crosswalks.
Okay.
Where's the beer garden?
Uh,
I was kidding. That was a joke, everybody. That was a joke. That was a joke. Okay. That's wild. So you only want to close the street and not the avenue?
No, I'm sorry, close First Avenue Northeast
Okay.
and not First Street.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
Any other discussion? Then could I get a motion
Motion to approve consent items 1 through 6.
with the changes?
Sure. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve consent items 1 through 6. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll move on to action items. We have one action item today, to vacate easement. With the sale of property to Pet Parlor LLC at the March 21st, 2023 meeting, the city of Lamar's will need to vacate an unneeded existing utility and drainage easement. A plat of survey is attached. The recommendation is that the administration recommends council proceed to a public hearing. Anything?
Do you want me to explain the reasoning? Okay,
Yes.
so when Lamar's Industrial Park South was platted, and then also replatted, drainage and utility easements were placed on lot lines. Okay, with the approaching replatting of the area to Southview, lot lines will change. So, and then especially with the sale of this lot to Pet Parlor, the lot line did change. These easements have never been graded thus far for drainage anyway, so it's essentially just lines on maps. So there is no need for this easement. When we come forward with the plat for Southview, we will erase all the easements that were part of Lamar's Industrial Park South also with that. So this will not be a utility easement, and this will not be drainage on this lot, so it can go away.
And you're 100% confident of that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though the grading hasn't been done and the final plat hasn't been.
So their building's gonna go there.
The easement's gonna have to move to the north to match up with the property lines. Is that?
Well, it won't even move north, because what's north of this is gonna be the right of way of the road.
North of the street itself.
Yeah.
So the front setback or whatever of the street itself.
Yeah, I mean, so we
This
won't.
has nothing to do with any easement along Lake Avenue that we may already have, correct?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're not doing this prematurely and we shouldn't wait until, okay, but, okay, if you're 100% confident.
Yeah.
Motion to adopt resolution number 23-21, establishing April 18th, 2023 at 12 p.m. as a public hearing to vacate a 25-foot utility and drainage easement on parcel A in the Lamar's Industrial South Park Edition.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Yes.
We have a motion by Brian, a second by Mike, to adopt motion